Scarlett MccGwire's here, former Labour advisor. Hi, Scarlett.
Hi.
Very good morning to you. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
I mean, this is a nightmare situation for Keir Starmer. He's only been in like 4 weeks, and, you know, he's got the first Cobra meeting, I think, is taking place as we speak, or is about to take place. And he's talking about locking a lot of people up. We're told that, you know, it can be done, even though the justice system is kind of creaking, even though there's no room in the prisons. But he couldn't have had a worse start, really, in terms of the things he's having to deal with, right?
Yeah, I mean, the whole problem with politics, as Macmillan said, is events, dear boy, events. And you just get swept off by things like this, which was completely, you know, just came out of the blue for them and has gone on and on. And I mean, actually, I thought your last caller was quite interesting about saying, you know, just put a lot of water on them and damp it down. Yes,
well, the weather doesn't help, does it? Because, I mean, whenever we have these, and people are all saying this is, you know, we haven't really had anything quite as bad as this since about 2011. And it is the hot weather that contributes to it as well.
Oh, yes, there's no question. I mean, I remember in 2011 talking to some expert on riots who gave me all the things that you needed, and in it was hot weather. Yeah. I mean, that's what allows people to come onto the streets and stay there for far too long. Yeah. But you know, as you know, and as you've been saying, I mean, this isn't a joke. This is really, really terrible and really, really frightening. And if this doesn't get stopped, somebody's going to get killed. Yeah. I mean, just and frankly, it might be a policeman, the way they're being treated, but also it might be anybody. I mean, you know, reading the accounts of people in the mosque in Southport who thought they were just going to be killed. It's so frightening to be living in those places where these thugs come in and just take over. And what the police say is the difference between now and 2011 is that they come from outside. These aren't locals. You know,
I think there are some locals. I think it's wrong to say that they're not locals at all, because I think there's plenty of locals, because you can hear them speaking, and when they speak to people, you know where they're from. You know, I think there's an element of that perhaps, but the problem is it's this kind of it's the kind of people who like fighting the police that are causing all the problems. And you know,
oh yeah, I mean it is quite incredible, you know, that people will be saying, give me back my country, while throwing a brick at the police. Yeah. I mean, you know, surely one of the things that we should have in Britain is respect for the police.
Well, that's the trouble, though. The police have lost a lot of respect because of the way that they police. And I think for a lot of people, and I'm not saying that there's in any way justification for what's happening, but for a lot of people that we talk to, a lot of people that call us who are not involved in violence, but who are not happy with the way the country is being run, are fed up with the way that there is a sort of sense that there's a two-tier policing system going on.
Well, look, I mean, if what you're talking about is the Palestine marches,
well, that's part of it.
No, but let's get this clear. 100,000 people took to the streets every Saturday, and they were peaceful, right? Policemen did not get beaten up by those people. It's really, really important. They were policed for peace, and the problem is with these riots is these people are coming in to cause trouble.
Yes. Well, we had the same problem in Leeds, though, didn't we? And there was riots in Leeds, and the police basically just walked away from them.
I don't know about all of them, but I mean,
well, there was pictures of the police running in the opposite direction in Hare Hills.
Right. So,
well, you know, that's
clearly they were wrong.
Yeah.
They were wrong. But
that's what I'm saying. You know, I'm not picking on the police. I'm just saying that the perception that they treat things differently depending on who's doing it, I think, is a real one.
Yes, but one has to say that so on the first night in Southport, these people came in to attack a mosque. Yeah. I mean, it was appalling and it was absolutely terrible, and people in there were completely terrified. But of course the police had to intervene. You know, the police have to work out when you intervene and when you don't. Yes. And what the police are trying to do is they're trying actually to save lives. I mean, it is so vicious when you have people stopping cars on the street saying, are you white? Are you British? And if you're not, your car is turned over. I mean, it's that of course.
But there's also scenes like that going on in Bolton, except from the other perspective. There's groups of young Muslim men running around in Bolton, as Robert Jenrick pointed out today, terrorising white people. So, you know, we've reached a really bad place in this country.
We've reached a really bad place. We've reached a really, really bad place.
Right.
And what was so interesting about Southport, which is a mainly white place, is that after the riots in Southport, the people of Southport, who, let's face it, were grieving, they'd had a terrible tragedy, came out to help rebuild the walls around the mosque and clear up. And actually, what you felt in Southport was that people were trying to were trying to go for unity. And that's what I mean. What we need is more brave people to say this has got to stop, and we're one country and we can't go on. I mean, I'm just looking at the photo, at the film that you're showing at the moment. I'm terrified. Can you imagine?
It's awful. Yeah, absolutely. I can't imagine what it must be like in those particular towns and cities. But the bottom line is Keir Starmer also has to take some responsibility and has to understand what is going on in the outside world. I mean, I'm just reading a piece here which says his net approval rating has plummeted by 16 points in a fortnight. You know, his approval score has gone now to 3%. This is a survey published by Opinion, the polling company, on Saturday. 2 weeks earlier, he had a rating of 19% positive. He's now 3.
I know. Well, I mean, are we surprised that there is violence on our streets, and he and Yvette Cooper and are working with the police are trying to work out how to stop it?
Yes.
Right. It's not helped, we have to say, by social media. It's not helped by Tommy Robinson and Lawrence Fox saying things that just aren't true, saying that Somalis killed a dog walker when as far as I know, no people of colour have even been arrested. I mean, I think we have to be very, very careful about what we say and not inflame the situation either way.
Yes, I think that's right. But also, you have to also remember that it's not social media that's causing any of this. You know, it might be exacerbating it, but it's not the real cause. And you know, there's a lot of deep-seated resentment on all sides, which nobody has addressed politically, which our politicians have never been comfortable talking about and have never really wanted to get into. But we've got to leave it there, Scarlett. Thank you very much indeed. Good to talk to you. Scarlett MccGwire, their former Labour advisor.